This video is sponsored by edmerls.com, where you can find answer of all your questions in simple and presentable way to grab maximum marks in your exams. How to measure crystal field stabilization energy (CFSC) and what are the factors which influence CFSC? Crystal field stabilization energy or CFSC is defined as the decrease in energy by the preferential filling of electrons in lower lying d orbitals. So, if the barycenter is average energy of d orbitals and the electrons are filled in lower T2G orbitals, the energy of molecule will be lowered, and this lowered energy is responsible for stabilizing the molecule. CFSC can be calculated from the absorption spectra of a complex. As we know that coordinate compounds are highly colored complexes, and this color of molecule comes from the dd transition of electron. This means the electron from the T2G orbital are excited to the EG orbitals, and when they return to ground state, they emit the radiation of equivalent energy. As the energy gap between them is 10 dq, so energy emitted by electron will be equal to 10 dq value. The radiation emitted can be measured in absorption spectra of the molecule. Let's take example of hexaaquatitanium 3 complex ion, which has D1 configuration. So there is only one electron in d orbital and it is placed in T2G orbital. When this electron is hit by electromagnetic radiation of energy h nu, it absorbs that energy and gets excited to Eg orbital, and when it comes back to the ground state, it emits same energy in the form of radiation in visible range, and therefore these compounds are highly colored. Now, the energy of the absorbed radiation can be calculated from the absorption spectra. The absorption spectra of the complex is shown here, and you can see that there is only one maxima at around 500 nanometer wavelength. So, from the wavelength absorbed, we can calculate energy by Planck-Einstein relation, which is energy of photon is equals to hc by lambda. Planck-Einstein relation is E photon is equals to hc by lambda. The number of particles in 1 mole is given by Avogadro's constant, which is Na is equals to 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 per mole. In this case, the particles are photons. As we have the expression for energy per photon, we need to multiply it by Avogadro's constant to get the amount of energy per mole of photons. So energy per mole is equals to Avogadro's number Na into hc by lambda, where h is the Planck's constant, 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second, c is speed of light is equals to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second, and lambda is wavelength of light, which is 500 nanometer in case of hexaaquatitanium complex, which is 500 into 10 to the power minus 9 meters. Let's put these values in equation. Energy per mole is equals to 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 per mole into 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second into 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second divided by 500 into 10 to the power minus 9 meters, which comes 0.119797 divided by 500 into 10 to the power minus 9 meters, which is 239,000 joules per mole, or we can say 239.59 kilojoules per mole. Now, this energy 239.59 kilojoules per mole corresponds to 10 dq value, and CFSC in this molecule is minus 4 dq. Therefore, CFSE is equals to 239.59 kilojoules per mole into minus 4 divided by 10. That is minus 95.836 kilojoules per mole, which is very similar to many bond energies. The color observed for the complex is complementary to the color that is absorbed. A solution containing hexaaquatitanium 3 ion is violet colored because it absorbs green and yellow light in the region of 500 nanometer, and hence the transmitted light is only a mixture of blue and red. Thus, on the basis of crystal field theory, spectral properties of complex can be explained. Now, there are many factors which affect this crystal field stabilization energy. The main factors are geometry of the complex, second, nature of ligand, third, charge on metal ion, and fourth, position of metal in transition series. So first one is geometry of the complex. In octahedral complexes, the splitting of d orbitals is more than double as compared to the splitting of tetrahedral complexes for the same metal ion and ligands. This is because in octahedral complexes, 6 ligands are involved, while in tetrahedral, only 4 ligands. Also, in octahedral complexes, the ligands are situated exactly in the direction of dz square and dx square y square orbital, while in tetrahedral complexes, the ligands are not directed at any of the d orbitals. Second, nature of the ligands. As different ligands produce different strength of the field, they give rise to different splitting of d orbitals. For example, different complexes of chromium shows different 10dq values, even if the central metal is same and geometry is same, but only the ligands are changed. From the table, it is clear that the cyanide ligand produces more splitting and hence it is a strong field ligand, while chloride ligand produces less splitting and it is a weak field ligand. Depending upon the extent of field produced by each ligand, they are arranged in increasing order of their strength produced as follows. So, iodine is having the least strength, then bromide, then sulfurans, then thiocyanate, chloride, nitrate, fluoride, hydroxide, oxalate, water, thiocyanide, ammonia, ethylene diamine, diphenyl, phenyl, nitrate, cyanide, and then carbon monoxide. Third, charge on metal ion. Since crystal field theory is based on the electrostatic model, the ionic charge on the central metal has a direct effect on the magnitude of 10dq. In general, a metal ion with higher charge draws the ligands more closer and hence produces more splitting than an ion with lower charge. For example, hexaaquachromium complex with charge plus 2 and plus 3 are having 10dq values of 166.1 and 213.1 kilojoules per mole. And fourth, position of metal in transition series. Metals from different transition series use different d orbitals, like cobalt uses 3d orbital, rhodium uses 4d orbitals, and iridium uses 5d orbitals for complex formation. Thus, the value of 10dq also changes depending upon the position of metal ion in transition series. So you can check here in the table that cobalt complex is having the minimum 10dq, that is 274.9 kilojoule. Rhodium is little higher, which is 406.4 kilojoules per mole. And finally iridium complex is having highest 489.9 kilojoules per mole. So that's all about the CFSE and the factors affecting it. In the next video, we will discuss more about the effects of CFSE on the properties of metal complexes. So please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching this video.